Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Sandy, December 3rd, 4th, December 4th. So today we're going to talk about stop measuring your progress against anyone else's business, right? That is such a key element and a key factor. People are going to be ahead of you, people are going to be behind you, but you're building your brand, you're building your business at your own rate. And one of the things I think is really foundational when we're looking at building your business is how are we building that plan? What does that look like for you guys? You know that I'm big on building a life plan and understanding where you want to be in 1, 3, and 5 years. But when I speak with business owners, I hear, well, I want to build a $10 million business. I want to build, a big business. Well, what does that mean? And how do we get there? And what is that plan going to look like? And how are we going to execute on that plan? This isn't just a grandiose idea of building a big business. We get to measure, we need to manage by the numbers. We need to understand how we're going to execute. What does that strategy look like? So everyone is at a different jumping off point. And I always say, thank you for taking the risk of being the top 3% to even be in business. Because many of you could just choose to be the middle class, be the low class, and be an hourly wage earner, working every day for a live paycheck to paycheck, live for a pension. But that's not why you went into business. You went into business for guaranteeing some sort of financial freedom, time freedom, right? Spend more time with your family, not working for someone else, not having to listen to someone tell you what to do. This was all about autonomy and creating your own economy. So when we look at building a brand, building a business, and we keep measuring ourselves against someone else who may be further ahead, they're not doing anything very differently except for making a plan and executing on that plan. They have a strategy that they have pig-headed discipline in coming to fruition. Most of you are in a series of, I'm still working in my business. I can't hire. I can't have cash flow. My profitability is low, right? I can't retain employees. My marketing's not working. I'm not converting my leads properly. We're not measuring and managing to our numbers properly. And operations is not one of my favorite things, but it's something that I know very well in an operational sense of understanding how the business needs to move, what wheels are spinning day to day, and how are we making decisions based on our numbers. And this doesn't matter if you're a $500,000 business or a $100,000 business. It's putting the right people in the right places. It's recreating yourself. It's delegating properly. So when we talk about managing your business, stop measuring your success to someone else's. Everyone is going to grow at their own rate. Everyone is learning at their own rate. But that's why people come to CEO Warrior for training. They're looking for answers to some of their toughest struggles. And really, the reality is they're looking to come to get a plan, gain knowledge, and stay stupid and follow and execute on the plan that's made for you. Whether it's a 90-day plan, whether it's a 180-day plan, whether it's a yearly. How are we measuring our targets? How are we even coming up with those targets? I think one of the biggest misunderstood concepts in business is that we don't understand not only our overhead, but our per employee. We fill the room with people because we think that hiring more people is going to give us a greater return on investment, when that's not the truth. How many people do you employ, and what are your numbers? If you're running, let's say, an HVAC business, what should be the number that you're getting return on investment per employee? We have some companies doing $3 million and their employees individually are only looking at $100,000 per employee that they're bringing in. That's not a return on investment. So if we have one company that's doing $100,000 per employee and another company that's doing $350,000 employee, they're going to have a greater return on investment, and they're going to understand their numbers. They're going to understand putting people in seats and how much money it costs them and what the return looks like for them. Everybody's in an individual situation. But managing to those numbers and knowing what makes you profitable in business is how you should measure against your own progress. So it doesn't matter where you start, it always manages what the outcome is. Measure. It always is about where the outcome is going to be, right? That is all we care about, is where are we going towards? What are we moving towards? Stop trying to move away from what you're doing right now that's not working. Move towards what you know works. And that's why our community-based environment of learning is so great. Not only the one-on-one coaching, but also the training that we do in a group environment. It's not about you looking and saying, well, I'm not where they are, so I don't understand what they're talking about, or I don't agree with some of what they share in this group, but that's what's working for them. That's how they see their business thriving. So it doesn't mean that it's going to necessarily work for you, but success does leave clues. So I want you to kind of think about a concept of strategic learning, strategic initiatives in your business, strategic outcomes, putting down a plan that you're going to be able to follow. And everyone is going to be on a different starting point. I cannot stress that enough. So what is that going to be? Is I'm right here, right now, this is my baseline. This is the outcome that I'm wishing to achieve. At what percent, of profitability, what does that look like? And how am I going to get there, and then reverse engineer it? Business is not difficult. It's just about sitting back and putting the time in to understand what it looks like for you. Again, everyone's running different service-based businesses, but the majority of them run very similarly because the concepts are the same. I don't care if you're running, a newspaper delivery service, or if you're running a plumbing company. It's all about how many people come in the door, what is our conversion rates, what our average tickets need to be, what does job costing look like, what does operational efficiency look like, when do I hire, and when I do hire, what kind of leaders do I need in my organization, and what are they going to be held accountable for? That's about it, right? The concepts are overarching. It's all about how we create the finite details underneath. But you've got to commit to a number. We can't just say, oh, I'm going to do, I'm hoping to do 3 million this year. Are you hoping to do 3 million? Because what does that look like for you and for your company? Again, each of you are going to have your own path, but we have to be strategic about how we're going to get there. And understanding how you're going to get to that number is probably one of the largest forms of strategy that I know, right? Who's going to help you get there? Most important. What people do you need to hire? What are the characteristics look like for those people? Stop putting people in places that they may not be ready for or don't have the capacity to fill that. That's why we have to understand exactly what our business represents, what seat they need to sit in, and how can we level them up. And if we just wanted to give you information, we could just say, hey, here's our portal, go to it. But each week it's about growth. It's about understanding what that initiative is for the week. It's about understanding what you should be priced at per hour, per day. It's about understanding your inventory control, your inventory costs. And not everyone's at the same level at the same time. And growth happens over time. Don't rush the process. Take it slow, do the learnings, understand the teachings, retrain the material, get everybody on the same vision. We're all working in the same direction. And then you're committing to that end goal. And we all need to know what that end goal is. We also need to know what our purpose in the company is. What does our career path look like? You want to retain your employees, that's also something. We can't just put people out into the field because they have a skill set. It doesn't work. It'll never work. They have to understand what the growth looks like for them. They have to understand how they fit into your growth trajectory. And when you're working with us, we could sit around and tell you some really uncomfortable truths and maybe don't like it. But the reality of that is because we want you to grow. We want you to be better. We want you to understand what you look like to your own business and who you are to your own business. And you may not run your business better than someone that you could hire that can help you with some of the initiatives that you're not really that passionate about doing. So we have to understand the numbers on a whole different level and understand how do we onboard people so that they can create the same synergy that we're creating within our business? What is that dynamic? And I think one thing I believe that we do really well is we onboard our new members properly. And sometimes that's the uncomfortable truth. That's the point where they're realizing that, wow, I don't like some of the ways that some people are doing their business. Well, great, don't do it that way. Do it your way. As long as your outcome is what you want it to be, then figure out a way that's going to work for you, that's comfortable for you. But don't lie to yourself, right? And I feel as if, again, when you look at the overarching view of how many people actually take the risk to go into business, it's because it's not easy. They don't want to follow a plan. They don't have the habits that create the discipline in order for you to become strategic. And we need to do this with every efficiency that you have. And that's not always someone's strong suit. But you have a skill set that you wanted to take into a business model, but you're unsure of what that's going to look like. So get help. Get help. That's why a company like us, we exist, right? We look at businesses and we understand them from the inside out. We understand your employees. We train your employees. We help to create an agenda for your clients. We help to create a brand for your business so you're not just a commodity in the marketplace. We help you to put this together in a finite fashion that's going to create a very strong foundation, whether you're just starting out or you're scaling. But you've got to be part of that process. Oh, Sandy, that sounds so great, but I'm still in a truck. Well, okay. Then you know what it's like to be on the road. That's so fortunate for you. Because now you know what goes on the daily in client interaction. You know what goes on in the conversion when you get into someone's home. You know what that consultation should look like. And if you don't, then we created a process. We have 400 processes to help you create that for your company. But you have to understand that you sometimes cannot do it alone. And where you are right now is not where you're meant to wind up at the end. That is not your outcome. But it's always, always about what that outcome is going to look like. How do we manifest that outcome? And how do we reverse engineer it so that it comes back to us in a fashion that we can create a sustainable, foundationally secure business? It's all about scalability. If we didn't think that we have what it takes to build a business, we wouldn't have gone into it. I hear things like, well, they don't do things the way that I want. It's my way or the highway. Why? There's people on your team that could probably execute quicker, faster, and smarter than you. Let them sit at your table. Let them be part of that plan. You don't have to do it alone. Not only with a guiding company, coaching company like us, but also with really, really great people by your side. Again, if this is not something that you want to create for yourself, then go get an hourly wage job, stay in a driven economy run by our government, and don't think about our future in I'm going to make $1,500 someday when I retire in a pension. Create your own future, but do it with strategic, pig-headed discipline. Always goes back to pig-headed discipline. Thank you, Chet Holmes. I want you guys to think about what you need in your business. What problems are you trying to solve? Email me, DM me, Sandy at CEO Warrior. Let's fix those problems. Let's get some strategy going. Let's have a better understanding of what needs to be solved and how we're going to put together a plan in order to help you execute on that strategy. These initiatives are sometimes our vision, and we don't know how to bring our business to fruition, our vision to fruition. We don't even know what that's going to look like. Some of you can't even feel that. We think, oh my God, 10 million just seems like so unattainable. But it's really not. Once you create that discipline each day and those habits each day, and we learn how to recruit, we learn how to hire, we learn how to manage the numbers, we learn how to put the proper information into our CRM, we learn how to extract it and manage from that, then it's just doing the same repetitious cycle over and over again. Except now the problems maybe become bigger because we hire more employees and we're managing more people, we're managing more personalities. That's really all it is about. We're managing more workload, right? The job board gets bigger. The checks become larger. right? Money coming in becomes bigger. Money going out becomes bigger. Cash flow becomes a little more difficult. But in understanding what it looks like inside your container is where we need to stay on each level of growth. And everyone is at a different level. Everyone has a different outcome that they're looking to achieve. So figure out where you are right now in every facet. We do a really clear SWOT analysis in the beginning of onboarding so that we understand where you are in every factor of your business, whether it's marketing, whether it's in operations, where are your leaders, what does your hiring look like. Understanding your sales numbers, critical. What does your sales process look like? Where you are today doesn't mean we're even going to be there a month from now. Little changes throughout the organization can make big changes to your client experience, big changes to your bottom line. And again, not everybody wants to scale, not everybody wants to sell, but we all want to be profitable, or else we wouldn't be sitting here in business. So what does that look like for you? If you need help, go to ceowarrior.com, book a strategy session, understand the foundational elements you may be missing, what's holding you back, how can we change, how can we shift, what does that need to look like? And some of it's all up here. Some of it's just having a different mindset around your business. Some of it is not allowing things to trigger you throughout the day that are holding you back from making decisions, right? There's a mindset shift that needs to occur to become a business owner. And that's why only 3% of people become business owners. 97% of the business that are of those 3% don't make it. Don't be that 97%. Be the 3% that thrives. Get the help that you need. Stop measuring your progress to anyone else. This is not about a race, right? This is about a dance to the finish line. And everyone's dance is going to be different. So if you need help, reach out. Otherwise, come into a community where there's tons of support. There's people that have been there, done that, failed, succeeded, picked themselves up, brushed themselves off, and got back on the horse again. So you guys have a fantastic Wednesday. I look forward to seeing you next week, and go out there and kill it.